stories. I mean, like, this will be one of the most practical part. We're going to have 6 speakers for this session. And I hope that you will get a lot of inspiration. You can ask your questions through Slido, so just go to the slido.com, #6092. And like basically the presentation will be about 10 minutes long, so I would like to ask speakers to give at least 2 minutes at the end of the presentation. We'll see the countdown on the screen here. But please give at least 2 minutes for the Q&As, so people can get really curious, because the project I saw, they're really amazing. We're looking forward for the presentations. So let's start. The first presentation is from Orange.
So hello everybody. So I had a chance to be part of the panel, so some of the information I already shared, but I will complete it. So there is an Orange and IoT. Maybe one question at the beginning. Does it fit together for you? For those voting yes, please. Okay, at least half. So there is some audience that will listen to me. Okay, so I will start with the Orange in Slovakia. So we are really beginner in IoT. So we are running IoT end-to-end business for at least 10 years. So there is a fleet management, which is very, very old use case, improving in time. We do smart metering stuff and many, many different other use cases for, let's say, a little portion of customers. Even there is 120K devices already in the field, and we do have thousands of customers. There are some of dealing with IoT. It's true that we are providing rather connectivity services than those which are more valued. So this is a chance for partners and for those who are creating the NDS applications for customers. And in fact, worldwide, there is, Orange has a worldwide footprint. There is really a lot of different success stories we could go through. This part of the conference is called demonstration and success stories. So, in fact, I will have no demonstration and I will not name any success story. So I will completely keep the agenda. But I think that there is something very interesting that you could take into account to build your own success story. So, what are the topics and what are the areas that Orange is discussing inside of its business? So we named 8 verticals. Do you know the term verticals? For those who are in IoT should know. Okay. No reaction. So we are really, really active in automotive, transport, and logistics, smart cities as well, in industry, healthcare, and all these. In some areas we are more mature. Even this is because of the industry itself. Logistics and transport and logistics, according to fleet management, this is there. For smart cities, for example, it's starting. Industry 4.0 we discussed. I think it's starting as well. For retail, it's becoming big hype. I think retail is very, very interesting in this kind of stuff. And we do have some nice success stories around the world. I will not go through. I think the presentation will be available. So, what is the key trigger for success story? Is it the success story starting with the problem? I think this. Normally, business is solving some very basic stuff. You want to solve your costs, or you do have too many employees, or you want to somehow automate your work. And with new devices, you can do it. So this is how those success stories are starting with very simple issues that businesses are solving. This is kind of, let's say, very basic of success stories. Then there are others where IoT is helping to change the business. So to differentiate, to create a new product, to provide something else that others are providing. And you can do it with, in fact, four basic elements, which I think for those who are not really, let's say, masters in IoT might be interesting to know. The first element is an application. Finally, you have to have something that provides you the information for your use case. This application should be somehow feeded with information from sensors and devices. But it's not like that. You can take the information from device and put it to the application. If you have devices in the field, like smart metering, for example, you have to have some connectivity. And also, you should gather those data from one place to be able to process them. So I think all those 4 areas you need to have a successful product. I think that all of you are able somehow to find yourself within those 4. Those 4 are for connectivity on the right side, probably connectivity part. For those that presented the applications are rather here. I think that there is a lot of this in this room. For data also, we had some presentation. So how to put it together? It's in fact, from my perspective, the IoT ecosystem. In general, if you are building a product for your customer, if you are an SME or if you are a startup, you should think of those all 4. And Orange can be very helpful in this, because it's a big company with history. And normally we addressed all of those areas already, because we had some success stories. So let's start with the sensors and devices. The key factor of sensor and devices is reliability. It should work, which is not very obvious. I don't know, have you got some devices at home? It works sometimes it doesn't work. Is it so? I think so. So normally you are looking for devices that should be reliable. Good manner how to maintain is to certify them somehow. Simply to check if it's really working. If you are selling some device to your customer, it's better to have a customer that is working. You don't have to maintain, you don't have to respond to the questions, why this is not working, I paid for this and it's not working and so on. So it's good to have some certification. In this, I think Orange can help. Even within our ecosystem, we are certifying devices before we are selling them. Second point is connectivity. It should be everywhere. Because even there is a customer that has got only one factory at the moment, most probably, if business is going well and you can help them, they will create another factory on the other, let's say, other place. Or customers of this factory are somewhere in the field, they are sitting home and so on. So it should be everywhere. So this is very natural. I think I'm not saying something very new. This is the core business of Orange. There is one point which is called LoRa, which I will get later on to this. Then about the data. So you have devices, you have connectivity, and you are able to process, you are able to gather data. You should be able to process them and analyze them. It is quite natural also for us, as we are analyzing many data from the network as such. So what we did is we created the data store, which is secure. It is natural part also. I think this is even for some businesses it can be an icebreaker. If you feel the data are secure or are not secure, it can be something that changes the situation. Of course, there are clouds that are saying that they are secure, but this is not really about the technical security. It's about approach to data. If you are willing to process them, sell them, or not. Telco operators are very conservative, so it is. I think this is good opportunity for businesses to use telco operator as a secure storage of their business data. So we do have the product that is called Data Menu, where we are somehow collecting and storing the information, processing, and then providing to application. This API, this is very technical, I don't know who are technicians, but for who are, it is very important part. This is the way how you can get your data to your application easily. So what we can provide is this ecosystem, and in fact we do not very differ if we are providing the end-to-end service to the customer or it is provided with a partner. So I think Orange is very open to cooperation. So for those who are not on our stand or we haven't met so far, I'm really open to discuss. So there is the question about the LoRa. Do you know about this something? Who knows what is LoRa? Oh, almost everybody. Okay, I shouldn't say anything about it. This is really something that is being discussed very much. There are some announcements in past months. Almost all operator is launching this service. Of course, Orange is not somewhere waiting for something. We will launch LoRa this year. We are already having the pilot. Even this building is covered by LoRa. You can check on our stand how it works. There are some sensors already connected. It will tell you, it will show you how it is, what is behind. And in fact, our approach is not very, let's say, bombastic. We are rather selecting the areas where we feel or we see the real use cases for business customers to provide them the service. And maybe one thing that to mention, LoRa is really interesting technology that provides the ability to run devices for a long time. But still, this is something that is complementary to service for customers. As soon as you will need some higher throughput for gathering of the data, you will have to find some other way. It can be 3G, 4G, or Wi-Fi if you have some. So this is, in fact, everything I wanted to say, as I have time is up. Okay.
I think there is one more question from the audience. So, what is the downside of being telecom in IoT? So what is the downside?
Who asked that? Sorry.
Mr. Anonymous.
So, what do you mean by that? Could you reformulate?
Well, I think I'll be loud enough, like a telecom. The downside is that many consider telecom by misusing its own communication channel to also come into the IoT. While on the other hand, for example, not going to the fight between LoRa and Sigfox, they are coming as a purely, their network of their own. While, for example, LoRa is, let's say, on a backpack and some other telecoms like Orange or in Czech Republic, it's a Česká radio komunikace. When I say downside is, for example, in IoT, many are now considering going to the classical broadband connection, while they still don't believe in the classical mobile connectivity, because it has its downsides, and that's the moment which I'm telling you. What is the downside? Because if I'm a telecom, am I benefiting something out of it? Or many will say, oh, they are piggybacking on another technology.
Okay, so I will try to explain in general the strategy of telco operator, like Orange. Normally, you have networks already available. So you can provide the services on fixed networks, normally everywhere, or you have the coverage of the whole country. For providing business services, you can select what kind of network is proper to provide the service. And so we are really leveraging on this existence. LoRa is the complementary network, which we think has got some attributes that we don't have in current networks at the moment. But as there is, let's say, new standard already being validated, I think it's been validated last week. So we believe that in 1 or 2 years, the standard technologies will provide also this LPWA attributes. So this is why there is not so big rush for new networks.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, can we have the next presentation on screen, please? Frankie from Thirtyseventy, or is it okay? Both. So let's show us your demonstration and success stories. So stage is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Franz. I'm co-founder and CEO of Thirtyseventy Digital. We're a full-service design digital agency based in Bratislava. And we're going to talk today, we've been invited here to share our experience building smart home apps for the AEG Electrolux group, you might know. So basically we've been working over the last 2 to 3 years building a series of connected applications that are now actually available on the Apple and Google stores that extend the classic home appliances that you might know from AEG and Electrolux, ovens, fridges, dishwashers and laundry machines, into a connected range that is upcoming, and basically extend the experience of the consumer around these appliances. In this case, you can see a little screenshot. The appliances are pretty cool. The first one is going to come out as the oven, which has also an integrated camera. And they're basically a series of different functionalities that extend what you're used to from your home appliance by various use cases. For instance, planning, finding inspiration about what you want to cook, then transferring recipes directly to the oven, secondary accessory sales or consumable sales, as I mentioned, the camera in the oven, and then the kind of remote control aspects that we're used to from many other IoT applications and products. Additionally to that, the applications also offer engaging content for the consumer, so a way to get people understanding how to treat their clothes better, how to do special tricks in the kitchen or execute their recipes better, basically become better cooks. So quite a wide range of functionality and content in these apps to make the usage of these connected devices and appliances richer for the consumer. So we were invited into this kind of success story part, and starting off I thought I'd get a little bit pseudo-philosophical to check out, it's not nice to blow our own horn, so let's look at some definitions of success. The dictionary definition is to get or achieve wealth, respect or fame. We haven't quite reached that yet, but we found a couple of other nice definitions that kind of match what this project in the last 2 to 3 years was for us. And that's really what I'd like to do today, share a little bit on the ground experience of executing a production IoT project. So liking yourself, liking what you do and how you do it is what Maya Angelou said, and that's certainly true of the passion at the agency. Edison called it 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. And again, that's very true. The abstract use cases, the business cases, the initial brainstorming is kind of very easy to throw down. The 99% of hard work that comes afterwards, getting a production level IoT solution going, is really what made the difference in our case. And lastly, so Winston Churchill, going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. And again, it's true that there were bumps along the way. It's not easy designing an IoT product. So this is the kind of chart that you see when you enter IoT into Google, right? There's always some abstract, beautiful world of connected devices, consumers, and networks. And then right after that, you get this kind of chart. And nobody really knows what's growing exponentially. Is it sensors, revenues, etc.? And of course, all of these predictions are probably true and nice, but they don't help you effectively design an IoT experience. They're very abstract, right? So for us, the challenge when we started the project 2.5 years ago was, how do you take this abstract IoT stuff and make it real? How do you actually get this product going on the ground? So to us, designing for IoT was a lot more like this. A lot of the times you're jumping into the unknown. You have nothing to reference in the way you could with other design projects, because we're an agency that traditionally comes from web development, app development, etc. When it comes to IoT, there's a lack of standards, there's a lack of best practices, you don't know who to look to for inspiration. On the client side, because in our case we're not a startup, we're developing this product for a company that's been around since 1883, right? So we're aiding them in the digital transformation, and so you're on the front end of that transformation in times as well, because the client and you yourself as an agency are continually changing to make this IoT thing a reality. And lastly, a lack of experience in the workforce. There is no such thing, in my opinion, as an IoT expert today. It's people that are, obviously interested in the subject matter and have related experience, but it's not been around long enough for somebody to say, designers, engineers, etc., to be IoT experts, or at least they're not readily available on the labor market. So it reminds me a little bit of what web design used to be in 1994, because that's what it looked like back in those days. There was no such thing as web designers. Somebody threw a computer on a network, and that was your first web server. And now look where the industry is. $1 trillion industry with hardcore technology, e-commerce, experiences being broadcast, video, interactive, a lot richer than this. And so to me, from a design and experience perspective, at the moment we're a little bit in this phase of IoT, and I'm looking forward to what it's going to look like in 10 years from now, and hopefully we're going to help build that. What do we reference? Because when you're in a world of when your resources are more used to doing apps or other design, not IoT design as such, the one thing you can always hold on to is the person, is the consumer, right? Because that never changes. You can talk about technology, networks, all kinds of things, but at the end of the day, you're designing for people, right? And in that sense, what was important to us, because we're extending a product by connectivity, a classic product like an oven, a fridge, etc. The important thing is how has the consumer changed in the last 10 years. It used to be that you bought your oven, you used it, then it broke, and then you bought a new one, and that's pretty much it. What the consumer today is more like is, or rather what the product today is like, it's a mad intersection between social networks, secondary services, content, auxiliary content coming in, the hardware itself. If you look at something like Amazon's Alexa, it's nothing to do with the hardware. It's not about the microphone, speaker in a nicely designed box. It's about the AI and the services that you are getting through those boxes. That's what really defines the product. So the product has moved from something really tangible to something ephemeral and spread across many different parts. And that to us necessitates the kind of design that we call holistic design. So all of these classic jobs that we're talking about, service designers, engineers, UX designers, some of which on our side and some of which lie on the client side, need to come together in a really beautiful process to make sure this product makes sense. Because otherwise, the engineer's decision, you can believe me, will influence what the user experience feels like on the connected app, right? If that hardware takes 15 seconds to react, somebody's going to drop the app because they're not used to an app taking 15 seconds. So bringing all these people together is what we're striving for in terms of defining as a new process for design. And so back to the actual definition of success that I most preferred, out of the cheesy ones that I found online. Success is not counted by how high you have climbed, but by how many people you have brought with you. So on the client side, this project started, just to give you an idea of also this exponential curve, back in the day with 5 people, and now we're talking to a good 400 people. It's basically the whole organization on the other side is into it. Our own team has doubled, which is nice. This audience here, I put it at 100, a bit less maybe, but hopefully we've taken you along and given you some insights. And then consumers for the products when they get launched, we'll see. So thank you very much, and ready for any questions.
Are you a B2C or B2B company? Either way, how do you reach your primary customer?
Well, we're a B2B company in the sense that we provide services for, let's say, classic established brands that are looking to digitize or get into the world of IoT, for instance, right? So in that sense, we're B2B. In the sense of the actual final experience that we deliver in our digital products, we're very B2C, because we're trying to help our clients reach their end consumers. So some are in between. How do we reach our primary customer? Well, it was an organic growth rate. It's not like we didn't define ourselves as an IoT company or specialist. We were doing a lot of good digital work for this client and building an app for them. And we did that very well. So then when the first demos came out, we're like, we need a connected product. We were asked. We did a good job on that as well. And organically, you grow the relationship, right? So yeah, it's kind of organically.
Okay, is there any question from the audience live? Don't hesitate. It doesn't bite. Okay, thank you very much, Frankie.
Thanks very much.
Okay, next presentation is from SimpleCell. Microphone, clicker.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We should talk about successes, and I will talk about one. We feel it's our project is actually successful in Czech Republic because today we actually announced that we covered 80% of the Czech Republic with the Sigfox network. That's the overall territory coverage. Which we consider as a success. And today I would like to show and share with you a little bit of our understanding what is actually IoT landscape is about and where it will evolve. Because as my colleagues showed there are huge expectations. And those expectations are actually split in all possible areas. Today we talk a lot about B2C and B2B. There's a lot of questions about what the B2B is, what are the B2C products, how they can be successful. But there is also the other way how to look for the IoT. It's about, we always talk about the things, but there are things that actually talk between each other and they don't need interactions. And there are things that expect an interaction from people. And around this line, actually, we see the bigger difference within the IoT. Whether we talk really about the Internet of People, or whether we talk really about the Internet of Things, just left for the things. Because some let's say, devices may actually talk once per lifetime of the devices. You can imagine that if you would have a device that actually should detect fire in the woods, this device probably would either never talk during the lifetime of the device, and where there is bad luck, it will talk once at the time it will actually get burned. So this type of devices are on one side of the IoT devices. Basically, you would be happy if it will never send a message. On the other way, the completely opposite side of the devices we see are those that you interact a lot. Things that transfer videos, things that transfer audio, that wants really daily-based interaction. And for each of these devices, there are different needs of the connectivity. I will talk about connectivity, what the connectivity is today, where we see the connectivity will move. You've probably seen this as some scenario that already been shared in different understandings. Within the IoT, you have some sensors, they need to communicate. You have some backend applications and end user applications. A lot of issues in the last years was with the connectivity. How to connect IoT devices. It was mentioned here also that behind the IoT was wearables mentioned. You connect wearables via Bluetooth, you connect them in the house with the Zigbees and the other protocols. So a lot of IoT applications and the solutions was actually based on products that were connected to your phone, and that the applications was done on the personal level. You might say those are the B2C products. On the other hand, there was really no connectivity possible for country-wide installations under 2G, because 3G and 4G networks are actually not rolled out fully, and only 2G was the only solution for the companies to roll out smart meterings and the other options. So when we looked at the possibilities which we had for the connectivity some time ago, there was a series of connectivity options which you have on the small areas. That's like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, M-Bus, wireless M-Bus, Zigbees. Those are protocols that you could look and that you could be used in the home installations, for example. But national-wide coverage was not possible with any other technology than GSM. So the Sigfox that we chose almost 2 years ago was the only option for the national-wide coverage. We see that as a huge as a huge game changer to be able to cover all countries. Because if I go through our use cases which we see with our partners, there are a lot of smart meterings, there is a lot of trackings, logistics and these type of things. And in both scenarios, you preferably have country-wide coverage. It's because if you build an IoT applications, you really want to have some level of certainty that your product will work in your country or even in your region. So that was the reason why we choose Sigfox, and we said, okay, it's a good idea for us to go and explore this technology. And very important, it lasts on the batteries. That's where the majority of use cases at the moment are. Those are the use cases with the firewalls. Those are the use cases that really request batteries. And but if you look through all the possible connectivities that you would have and you would expect, you see there are a lot of applications that need rather much bigger connectivities. And LTE is of course very strong technology that can support a lot of these top of the pyramid. And there is a evolvement within the LTE that should bring another technologies that will be able to deliver some of the use cases you would like to have, like connected cars, like surveillance cameras, etc., etc. So there are the standards that are coming already with standard which is called NB-IoT. It was mentioned here. It's a 3GPP standard of the telco providers, and it's called narrowband IoT. Narrowband is the way how you use the spectrum. Narrowband is also the way how the Sigfox uses the spectrum. And it's actually the philosophical way that's, from my point of view, makes completely sense. You use, for transfer of the small messages, you use very narrow part of the spectrum. It's like if you have a highway, and on the highway you want to send a lot of messages. You send those messages with the guys on the bicycles, because you get a lot of bicycles on the highway. On the other way, you can use to send the bigger messages, and you can use trucks. But if you use trucks, you can send only a few messages. So the trucks could be seen as the wideband coding. Wideband is, for example, LoRa. So the standard is actually going the way which Sigfox started in their philosophy 5-10 years ago. So yeah, so finished. So we don't say that we will connect everything within the IoT. The environment for Sigfox sensors is within the small messages sensors. There is a very specific way with the Sigfox. It is very hard to jam. It's almost impossible to jam the messages. Therefore, it's chosen as a backup channel for the security. And even the new standards will not be able to deliver this type of services. So what we see in the future, there will be a lot of different technologies that will be used, even delivered by the standard providers. But the very specific Sigfox narrowband implementations will last with a lot of very specific use cases.
Okay. We have some questions from the audience. So 80%, by the way, congratulations, nice success. But 80% is indoor or outdoor coverage, like in the cities or also like whole area of Czech Republic.
Okay, we have indoor coverage with less than 80%. I can check that, but we are covering with the indoor coverage more than 70% of the populations. We do a little bit different calculations, so it represents at the moment with the indoor coverage more than 5,000 cities and villages.
And how do I benefit from using Sigfox in home office automation or IoT or public IoT services knowing limitations for 140 messages? What is the advantage?
Okay, and what is the advantage versus one? Okay, there's.
So I guess there is some huge fight going on the background.
Here's the thing. For the home automations, there is use cases that devices are able to monitor something with the so-called AutoPad. For example, if there will be a company doing the dump cleanings, so if this company will actually gives you a sensor that will say your dump is full, so you don't need to take care about the dump. And the company who provides the service actually doesn't need to know whether you have Wi-Fi at home, you have another type of connectivity, etc. And it lasts on the battery. So, for example, home appliances can send messages whether they are broken or not. And it's actually not managed by you, but by the provider, like fridges, washing machines, etc.
Just for the people that know, maybe doesn't know, what is 140 messages like lifetime limit or daily limit? Or
140 messages is a daily limit.
For Sigfox?
Yes, for the Sigfox implementations. What is the advantage versus Solar? I think the major advantage, I don't call it advantage, it's a different approach. The Sigfox countries tend to cover very quickly and provide a national-wide coverage. That enables some of the use cases like the tracking, but what is really important is our approach is B2B, so our partners are companies that develop the IoT solutions. So once you build the IoT solutions, you know for sure that your solution will work also in other countries. It will work everywhere, and you don't have to look for partner to cover your area. So
okay, thank you for the explanation. Unfortunately, our time is out, so feel free to ask by the stands or by the dinner. There are some more questions, but we are out of time. I'm very sorry for that. So next presentation is going to be. Our next presentation is going to be by Kenners. With no signal. Do we have the presenter here? Oh, sorry, I didn't see you. So, the mic, the clicker, and the stage. Oh, okay. That's, I don't know, the Wi-Fi in these rooms. Maybe Internet of Things would be good to create at least the Internet of Conferences with the next huge topic.
For the conferences, it's best private.
Okay, the stage is yours.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So, my name is Martin Blair from Kenners company, and we are Sigfox system integrator. What does it mean? That we are cooperating in Slovakia and in Czech Republic with the SimpleCell company, and we are providing you with the solutions in the IoT world on the Sigfox technology. So if you would like to use IoT, we are there to help you. We are able to define your use case. In the case of need, we are able to provide you devices, or if they are available on the market, we will provide you existing devices, or we are able to develop new devices especially for you. We are able to implement those devices to your existing information systems. For example, when we are speaking about metering, we are able to send data from water or electricity or gas metering to your existing billing system, and you can bill your customers. Or when we are speaking about new cases, new kind of use, we can of course provide you new application built just for you. And of course you can oversight this solution correctly for you. Why we choose Sigfox? It's quite easy. It's the only solution at this moment in the market which will be able to provide you services around not just one country but around the globe, and it's technology which is aimed especially for the Internet of Things. So we are able to provide you with the long battery life. We are speaking about years, and we of course are able to create devices which are using the strong features of Sigfox technology. I'm quite sorry, but the technology just maybe disappointed me. Would you be so kind? Can you just click on the arrow on the right? Exactly. Thank you very much. So we are able to build a solution which is cost effective. As I already mentioned, we are able to provide a solution which is very energy efficient, because with one small battery it can last for years. With the Sigfox technology, you can have less or more global reach. Sigfox technology Sigfox networks are at this moment built around the globe. We have a lot of European Union countries or fully covered, or they are now in the rollout phase. There are new networks in the America, in the Asia, and in the Australia as well. I don't know if there is something in the Antarctica. One of my colleagues here mentioned that at this moment he is not able to speak about any demonstration or about any success stories. From our point of view, very strong message from Sigfox is there is a lot of success stories. There is 7 million success stories because there is 7 million devices running in the Sigfox network at this moment. I would like to mention just a few examples here. For example, in the cities, in France, there is law requirement for the water hydrants to be maintained, properly maintained. So in the case of fire, firemen will have water. With a simple Sigfox device, there is possible to monitor and maintain these water hydrants around the whole France. So, for example, this is a case which is running in the Sigfox network in this moment. We can discuss a lot of solutions in the industries, in the technology industries as well. As already Jan mentioned, for example, Sigfox is now used. I have no idea what's going on there. Sorry for this. As already Jan mentioned, it's more like a Skynet thing. It's overtaking my presentation. As already Jan mentioned, in Spain, Securitas company replace existing telecommunication lines with a Sigfox because this technology is not able, and nobody is able to jam this technology. You can jam GSM communication quite easily, but Sigfox technology is very resistant for jamming, so this is great technology for security. There was a very nice countryside picture where I just would like to mention another existing product and solution where it's quite nice and interesting thing for monitoring of livestock on farms. So if you have one or a few thousand cows, for example, they can have a nice bracelet, and this bracelet will monitor not just the position of the cow, or if it's alive, it will monitor the health and cavity period, so you know when you need to go with your cows somewhere else. Okay, what to remember about Kenners? We can be your partner in the Internet of Things for Sigfox. We are able to provide you a list of existing solutions and help you implement these solutions, or in case when your use case will require it, we can provide you with the new devices and of course with the software platforms which are necessary for successful using of Internet of Things. Okay, so in case that you would like to connect something, we are here. And no questions, thank you, I'm happy.
I mean, like, if there are some questions in the audience, this is a success story session, and can you name or show that, like, say what's your biggest project or which project are you the most proud of?
At this moment, as you already heard, in the Czech Republic, SimpleCell announced that they are covering 80% of country. So at this moment, the network there is, as far as I know, not in the commercial state. So we are testing there our pilots. So yes, we have a lot of one device cases, and this
Which is your most favorite?
My most favorite. When one of water companies came to us, and we thought, okay, they would like to measure how much the water metering, how much water is used by our households or by houses. No, they have these big cisterns. I don't know what's the correct. When there is water outage, they need to provide you big tanks. And they don't know where these tanks are and how full they are, and they don't know if the quality of water in this tank is good enough. So they ask us to provide solution of measuring the level of water in the tanks and providing the position of the tanks. And it's very helpful when someone stole the tank, and of course the quality of the water in the tank.
That's a very nice project. Can you accommodate for devices that need continuous real-time data transmission with low bandwidth?
Sigfox technology.
140 messages isn't so much like
as it was mentioned in the previous case. Sigfox technology allows you to send 140 messages per day from device. So this is not technology which is prepared for real-time monitoring. Like if you would like to monitor your household camera, or in the factory you would like to monitor your robot, how it's working. But when we think about the cases, for maybe most of the cases, you don't need real-time monitoring, real-time information.
Yeah, but the question was whether it's possible. So again, the battle between the systems and platforms. Why should I use Sigfox instead of global SIM? Classic provider, like in the case of cows. Hint, I already have that project running. Raise the hand. Again. Yeah, so what's the difference? Like, is it cost-wise or?
From our point of view, the answers are two. It's cost and it's battery life. Both we believe that are much better than with other cases. But of course, we can discuss it later.
Yeah, by the beer, by the soccer match. Okay, thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you.
The next presentation will be from Antik Telekom. Peter, are you coming? Or so Mr. Peter Blaas. Actually, I know this guy even from the youth organizations. Now we are meeting on this kind of forum. So Peter Blaas from Antik Telekom. The stage is yours.
Hello, so yes, I'm not an NGO anymore, but I enjoy the time.
We used to have more here back then.
Yeah, more than me. Okay, so I'm here from Antik Telekom and Antik Technology. We are something different than standard telco operator, so that's why I prepared some little bit more information about us as well. I don't know how many people know something about Antik. I expected that, so that's why I'm here to explain a little bit about us. We are a telco operator, regional telco operator with a network covering mostly eastern part of our beautiful country, with fiber to the home and fiber to the building networks and triple play services. And at the same time, we are the R&D and high-tech developer in the area of TV connected solutions, hardware and software, which we originally started to produce for our mother company, and nowadays we produce and develop for the many countries in the world. Why we are doing this? When we started to operate or wanted to operate other services and internet, it was in 2006, 2007. We looked at the market and find out that all the solutions which are available were only targeted to tier 1 operators like Orange or Deutsche Telekom and others. And there was nothing affordable for our size of business, which is like 50,000 clients nowadays. And we had a R&D experience and we had a design and software development, so we used the money and human resources potential to start to develop our own devices. First it was CPEs like IPTV set-top box, at then middleware and server applications for different fields. And I would say that it helped us to not at least to maintain our market share, but also increase it to the situation when in our biggest location, which is Košice, the second biggest city in the country, we have about 50% of the market with the main competitors like Orange, Deutsche Telekom and Liberty Global. We are utilized and still utilize the strength of our own product development to help us to fight with the competition, which is usually using legacy product. So we took the same approach also in the field of smart home and try to utilize what we already have. What we have is the customer base. We have customers which are connected on the fiber network usually, and we have also some kind of gateway, which is for us is not a DSL modem because it's a fiber network, but in our case it's IPTV set-top box, which is our own design. So idea was why not to add the smart home functionality with 868 transmitter into the set-top box PCB design and start to deploy it to the end users and to save quite a lot of cost. One of the biggest problems, at least for us, in the deployment of smart home product is the price of the hub. Hub costs hundreds of euros usually in the retail price, if I look on the market of the major producers. And this set-top box we need to deliver to the customer anyway, because we need to deliver TV. So we just add a few dollars device more into the design, and we can provide also the smart home services. Other reason is that end users nowadays don't understand why they should buy something like smart hub, because maybe they don't even know why the smart home is interesting for them. So we decided to include this smart home feature into the set-top box even without the people to know about this. So it's like 9 months ago when we started to deliver to each household which is buying the TV service, the set-top box which is equipped already with a smart home feature. And what you can then how the design looks like. We have a hub standard array, and we have a family of the sensors and active control devices which communicate through the set-top box and deliver the data into the database, which is a standard design already. It doesn't end here because we wanted to target mass market, and the prices of sensors and these kind of devices are also quite high. So we use our designers to come with to the family of sensors. We started with a smart meter, which is the combination of the power meter, temperature sensor, humidity, and the light sensors. Then we moved to our own design of smart sockets, and then the next one was the biometric scale, which you can see also on our demonstration outside. I didn't make it here, but maybe you have a chance to see it outside of this room. We found out that it's not that easy to, and we are not strong enough to develop everything what is probably necessary for the typical household. So for the other devices, we made a partnership with I would say the big East Asian producers of the sensors or meters and the movement sensors or the heating walls or the detectors are not our own completely own design. What we just did, we just bought a number of devices and added the communication part, which is compatible with this communication standard utilized in the set-top box. At the beginning, we used our own proprietary protocol for the communication, and then we added Z-Wave protocol, so our own sensors as well as the hub can be synchronized with the other Z-Wave protocol devices. About that, to be able to utilize also all the devices, like all the set-top box, for our global clients, for all the devices which are deployed at homes, we designed a 868 MHz USB plug and software components which can be integrated into the Linux devices to enable these smart home features even in the older CPEs in the households. And last but not least, we have used the TV set-top box not only as a hub, but also as a communication, as a user interface between the people in the household and the application. So we used the middleware in the set-top boxes to design for the control and getting data, as well as the apps in Android and iOS systems. So here are just some samples of the user interfaces we designed for the console over the TV box. And here is a nice family of our ready-made products before they just came out of the house. So just to summarize, I want to say that what we think that we have something unique is that we deliver the hardware together with the network, which is covering about 150,000 households by the fiber network. Then we also decided to use LoRa in all the areas of our operation to deliver to our business clients in areas like local municipalities and the house management companies with a solution which is more suitable to use LoRa than the solution for the online communication. Then we have the communication platform designed by us, and we have a customer base. Why customer base is interesting? This is our offer for the local partners around the country. Let's use our platform to deliver something to the customers using all the other components which we have prepared for them. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. I want to ask you, so if I'm a developer or a hardware developer, how can I join your platform? How can I produce, let's say, sensors, or how can I monetize my product through your
network.
Do you have these models already?
Okay, so as the hub is communicating using the ZTE protocol, the basic is that, so if you design your software to work using ZTE, the data will come somewhere. Then we have the API where you can design your own user interfaces on the set-top box to present the data or to control the device. These are the two.
Can you also deploy those interfaces to your customers, or?
Yeah, that's necessary. So our customers are combined fiber customers, then OTT customers. OTT means over-the-top TV delivery over the public internet, and third are our satellite TV customers. So all of these customers can be target of your product.
Okay, so what is there, some kind of good case practice or like best practice of the partner application you are running right now?
This is just on the beginning.
Okay.
So what you can see now is the hardware platform with software, sensors, and communication together.
So playground is open,
Yeah.
and you should play right now. Okay.
Exactly. And I don't want to say that we are experts in this field. We started this by ourselves and did it internally, just because we need to learn a lot from the market, from the partners, and to tune the solution a lot to create something which really makes sense for all parties.
Okay. And there is one more question. Is there security in smart home? And also, where are you available in Czech Republic? I would like to test it.
Okay, so we use asymmetric encryption with 128-bit long encryption key, and we are available anywhere with the gateway, because we deliver OTT TV set-top boxes all equipped with already with 868 MHz frequency transmitter. So you can buy in an Electro web shop the box, for example, and you will have the hub at home.
Let me see.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Thanks.
Okay, next presenter, Juraj from Fablab. Come to the stage. Finally, somebody really formally dressed for this conference. Startups Rocks. Welcome to the stage. The mic is yours.
Well, I'm sorry I'm underdressed, but I'm a newcomer.
All of us, we are overdressed actually.
Yeah. So, hello to everybody, my name is Juraj, and I'm here to tell you something about Fablab. Fablab actually means Fabrication Laboratory, and it is an open laboratory that works as a platform for designers, developers, students, artists, and general public. The basic idea is that we have the machines, you have the idea what to produce, you can come to us, we will teach you how to use those machines, and you can make the product that you want. So what actually is fabrication about? Digital fabrication, or also we sometimes use the term personal fabrication, because mostly the people which are going to Fablab to produce some things are for their personal using only. So digital fabrication is about possibilities of us as a custom design, of design independence, of a new art language, and of building prototypes. So custom design with digital fabrication takes the same effort to produce serial design as to produce unique ones. This means that if you want to have a 3D model or 2D model or anything like that, and you would like to produce it, you can produce it anytime you want. So if you the custom design, you can take those models and customize it to fit your requirements, and you can come to us and we will produce it. For example, these boards, you see a board, and there is already some model. It has the shape and the pattern, but you don't like, for example, the pattern. So you can say, I don't want there this picture, I would like to have there my picture, so you came to us and we will make you this bird with your own picture, for example. Design independence, you can make some things for personal usage as like some toys on 3D printers or some decoratives at the laser cutter, which you can see down, or some lampshades, or almost everything you can imagine. New art language, you can also use our machines to make some new kind of art. For example, as you can see, there is a leaf which is cut by a laser cutter, so it's some kind of leaf image, or I don't know how to explain it better. Down you can see the pattern on the wood, so there's an image of something, I don't know. So as you can see, it's modern art, yes, so only author knows what it actually is. Or you can make some prototypes. If you are an engineer and you have to make the components and you don't know where to, you can come to us and we will produce them for you, and then you can put it together, make some nice prototype. Which machines do we use? So we have the laser cutter, 3D printer, and CNC milling machines mostly. The laser cutter characteristics: it's two-dimensional. It's limited by the size of the table. You cannot cut too thick materials, and you can cut and engrave wood, plastic, and iron. Mostly we cut the wood because it fits best to the laser cutter. Then we have 3D printers. It's three-dimensional, limited by the size of the cube. There is predefined material, but it has the disadvantage of long working time. And the last one, we have the CNC milling machine. It's three-dimensional, limited on z-axis, which in our case it's something about 7 centimeters. I think it's 70 millimeters. And the material is defined by the drill. If you have a good drill, you can use the more solid material and so. And now I will give word to my colleagues, which will show you the robots they made in our Fablab Bratislava.
We are from Team Compotes, who profess to robotic football. This is our robotic footballers. They are now quite damaged because we were on championship at last 3 days. This robot, all of parts is designed by us. We have 5 members in our team, and all construction, hardware and software is designed by us. We designed the construction of robot in Fablab. So every black parts of robots are made on 3D printer. We have a lot of patents in robots, not real patents, but we have solved many problems in the robot, and so that's the point of this competition, and this is why competition exists. What is the competition? It's a classic football game. It has its specific rules, but the most rules are similar like real football, as you can see. The robots is moving by this Omni wheels. It's made in Fablab, and that's they have been made parametrical, so we can
how many wings you bring?
yes, we can say how length or diameter is this wheel. This game is playing with special electric ball, which
Lights up, yeah.
light up with red infrared lights, and we have sensors which see this infrared light, and that's how the robots see the ball. We have camera on robots, so he can see where is the goal. You can see on the video that he's every time
Turn on the
turn on the goal. So that's how he can score, and he now that's the video from the competition from 2 months ago, but on the championship we were used kicker and dribbler. That's how the robots can hold. That's how can robots hold the ball. It's the wheels in front of robots, and he used kicker, so that's how he can kick the ball to goal.
Okay, which one is Zidane? Ktorý je Zidane? Tých dvoch robotov. Zidane, futbolista, Messi, ktorý je najlepší?
This one is attacker, and this one is goalie. They haven't got their names, and as you can see, they are similar.
Maybe brothers. Are you going to show us the game right now?
No, because we haven't got a good program, and
hopefully they're as bad as Germans will have tonight. Okay, your time is up, guys.
Yes.
Thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you for.
So I'm very happy that Fablabs are in Laznicka, and also we have a lab in Thirtyseventy, and there is another one done by SBA by the Laznicka TV as well. And actually I would like to just announce that we see and connect, it's very important to get in touch in forums like this, and talk and share the ideas. We are going to organize in lab in Thirtyseventy every month these kind of meetups of Internet of Things. So we are very kindly invited. We will start in September. 15th of September will be the first meetup. I will ask the people from Embassy to send you an invitation in your emails. So hopefully we will have a chance to discuss even on the more informal atmosphere with the beers in the hand, what's new, what's going on with our projects. So you are on invite, you will get the information by the email. And about the logistics of today or tonight, okay, maybe more about tomorrow. Unfortunately, I won't be here with you tomorrow because my first plan was here just to be here just for one day. But anyway, tomorrow is even more interesting agenda. We will have two workshops, one focus on the financial opportunities, another one is on the smart cities. So we will start tomorrow morning at 8 by registration, and there will be also the keynote address speech by the people of G. Presta, is CEO of Hyperloop Transportation Technologies, as all the Hyperloop guys are right now in Bratislava because of the hackathon that was yesterday in Stará Tržnica. So I hope that we will come all here tomorrow. I will be in Croatia, so I will be able to be here. And about tonight, there is no transportation from this hotel to Falkensteiner. Anyway, it's like walking distance, so I think you will find it. And the dinner session is at 7:30, and we will have a common transport from the hotel Falkensteiner at 7:15. So 7:15. So this is basically all from me. I hope that you are very kindly, if you are here tomorrow, it's like international members, you are very kindly invited to Lab, to Stará Tržnica, to see our premises, 3D printers, and try our beer and wine. And hopefully to see you in September on the first Internet of Things meetup. And enjoy the 2 nice game match. Actually, in the restaurant there will be a screen with the match, so you won't miss it in the case you are afraid of. So just don't worry, the match will be screened there. And enjoy the rest of the conference tonight and tomorrow. And thank you very much for inviting me here as a moderator for tonight. And let's have a nice evening.